Yo, welcome back to the last part of this video series about the Flutter local notifications plugin. I don't know why it took me 6 videos to make this series. I thought that at the beginning I could just make one 15-minute video or something and then that would be it. But I noticed soon enough that there's way too much stuff to talk about. So yeah, after 6 videos we finally made it to the end, and in this last video we will talk about notification actions and full screen intent. Let's get right into it. Before we talk about notification actions, I want to focus really quick on the onDidReceiveNotification response callback. This is a callback that is defined in the initialize function, and it gets a notification response object passed to it. And this callback is called every time when you click on a notification. So in here we can say print notification clicked, and we can also access the notification like the payload. We can print out the payload of the notification, and this is a really important callback which is called every time when you click on a notification. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that right now. So I'm going to click on send scheduled notification, and when the notification pops up and I click it, the app opens and you can see in the console the notification has been clicked. Now there is no payload currently for the scheduled notification, so I'm going to add it right now. Payload is going to be I am a payload. Cool. Now we're going to relaunch the app, and if I do it again, send scheduled notification, and there it is. I click on it and now you can see I am a payload and the notification has been clicked. Nice. Now let's talk about notification actions. In case you don't know what notification actions are, I'm going to give you an example with the timer app here. So I'm going to start the timer, and if I leave the app and look at the notification, here you can see there are these 2 buttons. Those are notification actions. They let you interact with the app without being on it. To use these actions, we again have to modify a little bit of the Android manifest. So we have to add this receiver here between the application tags in our Android manifest file. So we are going to locate that and paste this right here underneath behind the application tag. Okay. Now for iOS we also have to add something for iOS. I'm going to show you. For iOS we have to add this code right here, the Flutter local notification plugin .set plugin register callback inside of the app delegate file. So we're going to locate that. And paste this right here. And now we're good to go. Defining actions on Android is a bit simpler than on iOS. On Android we can do this directly in the Android notification details. So here I can say actions, that will then be an array where I then gonna pass Android's notification action, and in here I'm just gonna pass an ID. I'm gonna say ID 1 and an action name. I'm just gonna say action 1. And now we can launch the app. If I click now on sensible notification, you see nothing. Because I forgot to change the importance level to maximum again, or to high. So let's do that. Also the ID. Okay, now let's try it again. Now you can see we have this little action, but if I click on the action, nothing happens because we have not implemented yet a function that is then called when we press the action. To implement this, I'm going to write a new static function here on the bottom. I'm going to call it notification tab background. And similar to the response callback, it gets a notification response. So we can access the notification information. So here I'm going to print action clicked, and I'm going to also again print out the payload. And now we also have the ability to check for the action ID, so we can actually identify which action has clicked and do something in that case. For that to work, we also have to add this little tag that is for the native code, and now we also going to specify that in the on the receive background notification response callback for the initialize function. And now it should work. So now let's try it out. I'm going to click on send symbol notification. I'm going to click the action, and in the console, nice, we can see we have now the ID, the action was clicked, and we have the payload. Let's also do this for the scheduled notification. So for scheduled notification, I'm going to go outside of the app. It appears. Now we're going to click it, and again here in the console we can see the information. Nice. But what if we want that on click the app opens up again? All we have to do for this, here you can see all the properties for the notification details, and we need show user interface and need to set it to true. So now on click, when we click the action, the app opens up again. I can show you this right here. So we're going to send scheduled notification again. I'm going to click on the action when it appears. There it is. And now you can see that in the console it looks a little bit different. Why is that? That's a good question. That is because if we have our app configured to open up again, when you click on an action, it will no longer call the onDidReceive background notification response, but will call the normal onDidReceive notification response. So if we want that our ID shows up here as well, all we have to do is add it to this function. So response action ID. Now if we try it again, I'm going to click send scheduled notification. I'm going to wait until it appears. There it is. Now I'm going to click the action, and in the console now we have the ID again. So that is how it's that. And yeah. So this is how you use actions on Android. Now let's look at iOS. For iOS, we cannot use the details objects. We have to specify the actions in the initialization settings for the Darwin initialization settings. So here we're going to add a new notification category. Yes, Darwin notification category, and we're going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it test category. And now for this category, we can define our actions, and these actions then will be an array. I'm going to pass in a new action, Darwin notification action dot plain. I'm going to give it an ID, ID 1. Nice. And also a name, action 1 again. Now we need to remove the const of the initialization settings objects because it is no longer valid, and also for the initialization settings object. And all we need to do now is for the scheduled notification function in the Darwin notification details object, we now have to specify our category. So in here, the category identifier will be test category, which is the category that we have just defined. And now let's try it out. Okay, let's start up the iOS application. Oh shit, oh, there's an error. I'm gonna fix it, wait a minute. I think, I forgot to import the Flutter local notification in the app delegate file. So now it should work. Okay, we're starting. Just wait a second. Okay, schedule notification. There's the notification. There's the action. I'm gonna click it. And in the console, we see our output. Nice. Like on Android, if you want to specify that the app opens when we click an action, we can similarly add here an options array, or not an array, but an object. of type Darwin notification action option. And in here, I'm going to pass in the foreground option. Let me correct this. Okay. And if I now click again the send schedule notification, I'm going to wait for the notification. There it is. I'm going to click the action. Now the app opens up again, and now the onDidReceive notification response callback was called and not the background callback. Okay, and that's everything you need to know to use notification actions. In the last part of this video, I'm going to show you what Fullscreen Intents are and how you can use them. They only work on Android, so we're going to switch back to the Android emulator. Okay, so what are Fullscreen Intents? For this, I'm again going to give you an example with the timer app. If I start a timer and I'm going to sleep mode with my phone, you see when the timer ends, the app opens up again. And that is exactly what a Fullscreen Intent is. As soon as the notification triggers or something happens, then the notification will open up the app again, and we will again go into the onDidReceive notification response callback. And how to do this, I'm going to show you now. Now for Fullscreen Intents, unfortunately, we have to add this permission again to the Android manifest file. And yes, I'm gonna add this here. And also we have to add those two in the activity tag, also in the Android manifest file. I'm gonna add this right here at the end, make this look a bit better. Okay, and after that we need to then request Fullscreen Intent permission. How we're going to do this, I'm going to show you now. Inside of the schedule notification, before sending the notification, we're just gonna call if Flutter local notifications plugin. Then we're gonna resolve the Android specific implementation. And then we are going to call the request Fullscreen Intent permission function. And if that returns false, then we're just going to print into the console that it is not allowed to use Fullscreen Intent, but the notification will still be sent. Because Fullscreen Intents are not as strict. If the user allows them, then good, but if not, then the notification will still be able to be sent, but not with a Fullscreen Intent, but just as a normal notification. So we don't have to do any permission handling here. We're just gonna call it. If it returns false, so be it. If not, great. Okay, now how can we specify to use the Fullscreen Intent? That's easy. We are going to locate the Android notification details, and we're just gonna say Fullscreen Intent true. It's just as easy as that. Okay, let's test this out. Send scheduled notification without locking the screen. It is just going to be a normal notification with the action, like we have defined earlier. Now I'm gonna lock the screen, and after the 5 seconds, you see the notification pulled up the app, and we got into the onDidReceive notification response back. What the fuck? What is the word I'm looking for? We got into the onDidReceive notification callback. Nice. Okay, if you want to now find out if the notification that was just triggered was a Fullscreen Intent, you could write Fullscreen into the payload and then check the value of the payload in the onDidReceive notification response callback. So in here, I'm just gonna say if response.payload equals Fullscreen, then I'm just gonna print this was a Fullscreen Intent. Now let's test this in action. Send schedule notification, lock the screen, bam, there we go, and this was a Fullscreen Intent. Nice, so everything works. Okay, now that's the end of this video and also the end of this series. it was the first videos that I have created on this YouTube channel, so I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot too. And if you like these videos and you want to see more of me, then please leave a like and write something nice in the comments. Or if you have any critics, then write something bad. I don't know. So yeah, until then, I will see you in the next video, and goodbye.